Okay, Chevra, here we go. In honor of the month of Kislev, which according to Jewish mystical sources is the month of dreams. The month where we can tap into the secrets of dreams, we can tap into the secrets of sleep. We can really learn what it means to tap into Hashem while we go to bed. This is a powerful month of learning how to sleep and how to dream. The dreams teach us things. Like Chazal, like the sages teach us that going to bed, sleep is 1/60th of prophecy. And therefore sleep and dreams are not something that's just light. We're going to see in a few moments that some dreams are not to be taken too seriously. But dreams are a very, very profound thing. And one mustn't think that when I serve Hashem, it's for the 16 hours or so that I'm awake, but those other 8 hours when I'm shlofin is like I'm off duty. But rather, Shivisi Hashem Lenegdi Tamid means that I'm constantly in a relationship with Hashem, even in my sleep. I want to tell you a story of the famous Arizal from Tzfat, the greatest of all the Kabbalists from Tzfat. So there was one time that he was sleeping on Shabbos. He was well known to sleep a few hours on Shabbos day. And Rabbi Avram Alevi came in to watch his Rebbe, and he saw that he was sleeping. So he was nervous. And he looked over, and he didn't want to wake him up. He looked over and he saw that the Arizal was moving his lips in his sleep, but no sound was coming out. So he was wondering, and all of a sudden the Arizal woke up. Now, not so simple to wake the lion, to wake the Ari. So he said, Rebbe, I guess if I already woke you up, will you tell me what were you doing when your lips were moving now in your sleep? So the Arizal said, Chayecha, it's upon your very life. You should know, She'asakti, that right now I was involved in the yeshiva upstairs, the yeshiva Shel Mala. I was upstairs in a very, very exalted place. You should know, the yeshiva Shel Mala. That many things that exist up there are similar to down here. And I was learning the secrets of Parshas Balak, the secrets of Bilam and Balak. And I was learning Devarim Nifloim, wondrous things right now. So Reb Avram Alevi said, well, Rebbe, maybe you'll tell me a few of the words that you were talking about, a few of those ideas. And he said back, he said, you should know, even if I were to talk to you and tell you and speak non-stop and expound on what I saw for the next 80 years, speaking non-stop day and night, I could not begin to tell you the secrets of what I was really just obtaining right now in my sleep. And it's known that the Arizal, when he would go to bed, it's said that he would meet a certain angel, Suriel, the Sar Hapanim, the minister of the interior up there. And that minister is known that he greets you, and if you're noble, he asks, so where would you like to go? And the Arizal would tell him, I want to go here, and he would take him there. And sometimes he would take the Arizal to the yeshiva of Rabbi Meir. Sometimes he would go to the yeshiva of Rabbi Akiva. Sometimes he even went to the yeshiva of Hashem. And other times he would go to the yeshiva of Moshe Rabbeinu. And he could go anywhere he wanted. Now, for all of us, this is a wondrous thing to think about what you can access. That dreams are a little taste of prophecy. That dreams can reveal wondrous things. So even if we're not at the level of the Arizal, of going to bed and having wondrous secrets revealed to us, at least we need to learn how to go to bed and to sleep in a way that we don't wake up the next day just totally exhausted, that our rest is restful, that we're able to maximize our sleep, that we're able to sleep well, and then with that, we can move higher and higher in the rungs of learning those secrets while we go to bed. At least we need to begin the process. And therefore, with that, we put together 13 tips, practical, down to earth, in order to improve your sleep today. And they are the following. Number one, your sleep area, generally your bedroom, but specifically your sleep area in your bed, should be relaxing and reserved for sleep, and not a place for work, not a place that in your bed you play video games and watch Netflix and you pay your bills and you make calls and you do things that could stress you out. It's a place that should be associated psychologically with I'm going to bed. That I know when I go into my bed, if a guy's just watching movies there and making stressful phone calls and cramming for his calculus test in his bed, he doesn't associate his bed with, like a chill out zone. He associates his bed with like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna cram for my calculus test. So you think you're gonna be able to get to bed in a calm way after that? The bed should be a calm, relaxing zone, a safe zone. You should make sure to make your bed every day. That creates a calm as well when the bed is made. You should invest in a good mattress. You should invest in a good pillow. You should have ideally natural organic sheets that are comfortable. You could even invest in having a nice lighting situation in the room, including a crystal pink Himalayan salt lamp is a favorite of many. Something which calms the energy and allows you to have a very peaceful sleep environment. Probably take the big heads off the wall that are like looking down at you while you're trying to go to bed, the fat heads, excuse me, and choose calming decor around your sleep area. Number two, you should make sure that your bedtime routine is something that is consistent. What do I mean? People do well with schedule and routine. We like routine, our bodies like it. It doesn't mean you need to be a military man, like if it's 1 minute past your bedtime, then, forget about it, you turn into a pumpkin. But you should be in that direction. And some of those things might include having a shower before bed or a bath, having a cup of chamomile tea before bed. Tea is very calming. Getting into your PJs, brushing your teeth. I know these sound like things that are, like you do with your kids, but sometimes we forget things as we get older. Maybe you have a certain book that you read that's calming for you. You're, so to speak, you're getting into a zone. You might listen to some relaxing music. Ideally, get off your phone at least an hour before bed if you can, to just start to go into bedtime mode. Very, very important. Number three, this is maybe one of the biggest ones. Don't eat before bed. We all know it. The number one prescription to have the most horrible night's sleep and wake up feeling like, is to have, and I quote, a big, fat, saucy, spicy shawarma with the Coke and the chips in bed. And then basically as you're like passing out, benching, that's the number one prescription to have a horrible sleep. And even if it's not as dramatic as that, when you're having those moments of like a little bit hungry and like it's like late night. So when you're young, you could kind of pull this stuff off. But as you get older, you start to realize like just downing a pie, it's like 2 a.m, and just like, pie boys? Yeah. And you just down the pie, it starts to catch up to you like, maybe I can't pull this off anymore. So be aware of that, is that the body doesn't like to eat before bed. You're gonna hijack your night's sleep by eating a lot before bed. So what we say in the Torah is Chacham einav b'roshai, a wise man has his eyes in his head to see into the future, royas hanoilad, which means plan your eating accordingly. Doesn't mean if some guy shows up you can't have a bite of something, but don't make meal times before bed. And just because all the guys are doing it doesn't mean you need to get involved with that. Eat at least 2 hours before bed. That would be the best. The Ramchal points out as well in Derech Hashem that by eating too many heavy foods late at night, that's a problem. And those heavy foods, if they're not digested properly, can cause gases of undigested food to go up onto your brain and essentially cause weird dreams and even other maybe accidents. And therefore be careful of very heavy foods like eggs late at night, thick dairy late at night, spicy foods, garlic, onions, thick meat, essentially, a fat shawarma right before bed. I have nothing problem with shawarma. Shawarmas are great. They're basically the Korban Pesach, but not right before bed, on a nightly basis, okay? Be careful as well. Do not drink so much liquid before bed because it will disturb a person's sleep and he'll wake up in a panic. And that's also not a calming point. Number 4, essential oils have a dramatically relaxing effect on a person. Aromatherapy oils, essential oils are essentially the distilled essence of the oil, cold distilled, and it's the potent part of different plants, herbs, very safe, very effective. The most effective, you can put them on your pillow, you can put them into a diffuser, put them into a bath, put them onto your wrists here, very, very effective. The most ones effective for a calming effect, getting into a restful sleep state, are lavender essential oil, neroli essential oil, chamomile essential oil, ylang ylang essential oil. Very good, effective, get organic when possible, and they're reasonably priced as well. Number 5, this is more for a husband and wife. If a husband and wife can give each other a foot massage before bed, that's a very relaxing way to allow the night to just calm down. A person had a stressful day. Reflexology, which we'll talk about another time, is one of the most effective ways of healing a person, pardon the pun. And generally, when a person is given a foot massage, they feel relaxed. All the tension of just can melt away, and they could feel, I could finally just relax myself to get into a state of now going to bed. As far as different vitamins to take, number 6, include B vitamins in your diet, especially B12. It's very relaxing for the neurological system. Probiotics, very, very important. Many people lack, and as a result of this, have something called restless leg syndrome, RLS, which is essentially a person is jerky before bed or kicks in his sleep, very violent. It can be a real issue for people. Is a severe lack of calcium, magnesium, oftentimes found in women, especially menopausal women. Very important to have good calcium, magnesium in the diet. One of the best ways to do that is also to get through green leafy vegetables. I repeat, very, very uncommon in our society nowadays, green leafy vegetables. Greens, spinach, kale, collard greens, etc. To have sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, oats, almonds, walnuts, including zinc in the diet, which is also calming for the neurological system. The body can just relax, to just relax the system. A lot of the tension is just we're not relaxing. So ensure to get those vitamins and minerals inside the diet. Number 7, please be careful if somebody is taking any type of sleeping pills, prescription sleep pills. Be very careful with these, not to become dependent. If a person is worried about the state that they're in right now, please speak to a professional. Do not get dependent on sleeping pills. They can be a problem. Make sure to speak to someone competent about this. Number 8, melatonin. Melatonin is something very trendy. People like to take it. You have to be careful also with melatonin for 2 main reasons. Melatonin, if a person does take it, he should take between 0.3 milligrams and 3 milligrams 30 minutes before bed. Taking more is not a good idea. You could take up to 5, but don't go more than that. The 2 things to be careful with melatonin is, number 1, if a person gets hooked on melatonin, it makes a problem of your body's ability to create melatonin and hormones that will relax you, because you're constantly putting it in from the outside. So be very careful of constant, like a guy being like, I'm like a melatonin, I like pop melatonin all the time. It's like my thing. Melatonin, you got melatonin? Yeah, I got melatonin. Yeah. Like there's always like a melatonin dealer. The guy's like always got like a hook of mel. You got mel? Yeah, you got the mels? Hook me up with the mel. The tonin. So just be careful. You don't want to have this inner melatonin ring inside wherever you are. Be careful with melatonin. Number one, because your body is not going to be producing it as well. You can use it sparingly, but number two, also high levels of melatonin and taking it externally can be Hashem Yirachim linked to depression, because the idea of melatonin it depresses things. So taking it all the time, lots of melatonin, you have to be very, very careful of that to not OD on melatonin. Number 9, everybody knows this: exercise. If a person is lethargic, has a sedentary lifestyle, he has a hard time falling asleep. He's not tired out from the day. He might be exhausted, his adrenal glands might be shot, but he's not able to fall asleep well. Being a guy who regularly exercises, it does not mean you need to be pumping in the Iron Gym man, but it means you're just active. A guy who's active generally, as his head is hitting the pillow, he's already sleeping before the head hits the pillow. Number 10. There's something called circadian rhythms. What that means is that we were essentially designed to be awake when it's light and sleeping when it's dark. The advent of electricity changed everything, because man now can run lights 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and essentially we have no concept of the nighttime anymore. Candles were a luxury to be able to be up at night. And of course we should be up at night, like the Rambam says. The main learning, the Keser Torah, is acquired at night. A person who learns at night, he's a Chut Shel Chesed the next day. You should be up at night. But the body needs to recognize night. We never had lights like, fluorescent lights. So when a person wants to be able to get into a good sleep rhythm, he should make sure to keep the lights off in his room. This doesn't mean if a guy comes into your room and it's he turns the light, you have to mamish, bro, my circadian rhythm, what's up with you? No, it's much worse to be over on the isser of ve'ahat l'recha kamocha, of not loving another person and hating him. You can turn the light, you find it mean to, and you just heard a shir about sleep patterns, and you're just and the guy wasn't there, and you're bugging out on him. So just don't bug out, but try to keep your room without lights. It will train yourself to sleep better, and it'll train your circadian rhythms also to know how to wake up naturally because it's light. Number 11. This is very important and not so well known. EMF, electromagnetic frequency, electromagnetic radiation. Electricity is something that affects us. It's something that affects us very, very much. The last thing you want, and one of the easiest things that you can do, is don't put your phone like this. The guy goes to bed, he doesn't have a pillow because his pillow is his phone. He cuddles with his phone to bed, and it's plugged in. So besides the fact, if it's buzzing all night and it's blinking all night, that he never slips into a deep sleep, certainly not a REM sleep, because there's always this buzz or this light. It's also the electromagnetic frequency of the phone is going, and he has to be very aware of that. As well, anything being plugged in around your head, including lights, including computers, will affect your brain pattern. And therefore be very careful of all this electromagnetic energy around your sleeping area. Very careful. Ideally, put your phone on the other side of the room. Okay? That's the best thing you could do. But you'll say, but no, Rabbi, it's my alarm clock. Exactly. Now you won't press snooze because it's on the other side of the room. You actually get out of bed and you'll turn the thing off and you won't go back to bed, right? It's much more rational when you think about it that way, besides the fact that you're lessening the EMF fields so close to your head. That includes computers, that includes laptops, everything away from your sleep area. I'll take it one step further. A person who really wants to create his sleep area as a very low EMF place, everyone knows that there's something called the breaker box. When the light goes out, you go to the breaker and you see that box, by the way, controls the electricity of the house, just so you know that. What's the idea? That box, certain fuses control certain rooms, which means if the fuse is on, all the electricity in your walls is also running. okay? If you're really able to do this, some houses you can, some you can't, some you have, some depends on how it runs with different rooms. If you can turn off the electricity in the walls from the fuse box of your bedroom, it's extremely relaxing. It's almost too relaxing. Has anyone ever felt and remembered what happens when there's like a power outage? And all of a sudden it just, the whole energy goes, you know that feeling? It's like so quiet. Like there's no white noise. Your refrigerator just like, dun, 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 dun. Everything stops. And so some guys figure like, oh my God, it's too quiet. Like what do I do? What do I do? That's because you're so used to, you don't realize, but like your brain is getting bazookaed nonstop by EMF all the time. So when it gets quiet, it's like, what do I do? The same thing happens to the guys who goes to the desert and it's just so quiet. He's like, oh my goodness, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Bro, be with your soul. It's like, I never met that place. Oh my goodness. Service! I need service. So you can actually learn to heal from that disease, and the breaker is off, you're able to calm down significantly. If anyone wants more information on electromagnetic frequencies, look up the book, The Invisible Rainbow. Also, the body has a certain Schumann frequency that is the frequency of healthy organism that you can look up later. One more point, when you go to bed, the Rambam has a very interesting point. He says, anyone know how a Jew and really all of humanity should go to bed? You should sleep on your side, start on your left side, middle of the night, go to your right side. Why? Because, anyone know where your liver is? Anyone know what a liver is?
Yeah, your liver's on your side.
Liver's on your side, under your ribs, on the right side of you. It's big and bloody and hot. It's a big filter. That's about thousands of different functions. It's a major filter. Don't mess up your liver, guys. The liver is hot. Anyone know how your digestive system goes? You have a small colon, you have a stomach, a small colon, and a large colon. I won't get too detailed here, but essentially your large colon starts down here, comes up like this, around, down, and out, okay? Your liver is essentially here sitting on top of your stomach. So I'm gonna demonstrate here. If I go to bed on my left side, any undigested food particles in my stomach, my liver sits on top of it and it's gonna heat that up, right? And liquefy undigested food. Then when I turn to my right side, everything that moved through the colon, the large colon, now is going to come out using gravity. So essentially the Rambam is speaking from a rational perspective. You want to know the best way to just have a good night's sleep? Sleep on your left, that'll warm up undigested food, turn to your right, anything that's undigested in the morning should come out. And that's really the healthy way, that when you wake up, you're able to go to the bathroom. Number 12, it's highly advisable that a person before bed has a period of time where he has calming, happy thoughts. That you take some time and take a deep breath in, where you think about people that you love. You think about things in your life that you appreciate. You get into a frame of mind of gratitude, of all the blessing that I have in my life. You're able to focus on happy things and essentially calm yourself down before going to bed, to get in that frame of mind. And therefore, certainly it doesn't help to be watching some stressful, crazy horror movie, like, and then, okay, time for bed, okay, I guess I'll try to just, stop those nervous, crazy image thoughts all of a sudden. It doesn't just go away in 2 seconds. So try to have a period of time of relaxation, of going into those positive, happy thoughts. And this goes into number 13 finally. What you think about during the day, and more potentized right before bed, is what you will be dreaming and thinking about at night. Therefore, of course, a person needs to be careful during the day to surround himself with positivity, positive people, positive images, positive ideas. It's very, very important right before bed. That's where it's the most potent, that right before bed, I make sure to focus on things that are not intense. I make sure to focus on things that are the right things. And we have the secret. The secret way to project yourself into the dream time is none other, my friends, than the bedtime Shema. Okay, Chevra, saying the Shema, it's in your Art Scroll Siddur, the bedtime Shema. Learn what it says in the bedtime Shema. It has all the Kabbalistic secrets to protect you at night. The visions of things of where you're going with this whole thing. It has the secrets, Ana B'Koyach, has different names of God that allow you to access different chambers upon chambers, that give you codes to get into different places up there, that you hand over to the angels. There's layers upon layers of things that are going on the bedtime Shema. Just first of all, just read it, but then learn it. And whatever it's talking about, there is the best way and the best thoughts to propel me into the dream time. That's going to get me to the best place possible to tap into that relationship with Hashem that continues when I go to sleep. And I want to end with the following. It says that when Mashiach comes, we say it in Shir HaMaalos, that we're going to be like dreamers. Hayinu kecholmim. We're going to be like dreamers. You know what happens when you go to bed and you start dreaming? Isn't it amazing that it feels so real? And you're in that dream, and it's like, and you wake up and, oh my goodness, it was just a dream. It's just a dream. But it was so real. Oh my goodness, but it felt so real. And then what happens the next night? Some people dream more than others. And the next night, and you're in the dream, and then you wake, oh my, it was just a dream. But I thought it was going to go on forever. Like, it was so real. I thought that was it. I thought my life was that. But then I wake up. But it felt so real. You know what's going to happen when Mashiach comes? It says when Mashiach comes, we're going to wake up like from a dream. That Mashiach comes and we're going to wake up. And we're going to look back. And all of this, right now, is going to feel, oh my goodness. But it felt so real. It was so real. It was so real. And then Mashiach is going to come and we're going to wake up. Oh my goodness. It was all a dream. 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 But you know, there are some certain fortunate people who can lucid dream. That imagine while you're in the dream, you could wake up. And you could know that you're in the dream. And you could be conscious of yourself in the dream. And imagine if us right now, in this dream that we're in right now, we could wake up in the dream. And we could already see Mashiach in the dream because we're not dreaming anymore. We're awake inside of our own dream. And all of a sudden we're in that era. And this month is the secret of going into your dreams and waking up in your dreams and accessing that 60th of prophecy in your dreams of the Shivisi Hashem Lenegdi Tamid, finding God in your dreams now. So let us wake up in our dreams to be Zoicha Mamish, to lucid dream now in this world, that we already are awake and we already see the footsteps of Mashiach that's coming now, Hayom, that he's here now. Chevra, we should be Zoicha, we should be meritus to wake up, to mamish wake up in our dreams, to find Hashem in the dreams, to dream in a holy, holy and pure way. And with that, to grab on Kaviyachol, to that light of Hashem. And with that light, to build the Beis HaMikdash and bring Mashiach. We should be merited to this, to see all of us and all of our families Klal Yisrael and all of humanity returning to Israel, Yushalayim, with Mashiach Tzidkeinu b'mher v'yameinu. Amen v'amen. Amen.